All right, so the point of this video is to encourage you to try something new, and I'm going to give you 3 ideas for some simple things you can do that are going to improve your musical ability, and honestly, I think they're going to give you more joy. And so by the end of this video, hopefully I'll have encouraged you to try at least one of these 3. And you know, this is the perfect time of year to do this. We're coming into a new year, and this is when we define goals. And remember, even if you don't get 100% of your goal, no matter what it is, if you get 10%, that's 10% you wouldn't have gotten had you not defined it. So always define a goal and try and stick to it. And write it down on paper. That seems to make a difference, at least for me, versus keeping it in my head. It's more magical, and it actually happens more when you write it down. Okay, so back to the guitar. So the guitar has all of these different styles. We have country and rock and blues, and it's all created with this one little instrument, this one piece of wood with some strings and wire that's portable. It's amazing to me what you can get out of a guitar. And because of all those different styles, you have all of these different players. You know, some people identify themselves as country players or rock players or blues, and we tend to do that. I do that too. And one thing I've learned though through the years is that the deeper you go in a vertical like that, I used to consider myself a blues player. So I would listen to blues and I was totally immersed in the blues universe. But I would find myself becoming a little bit stagnant in that world because there's only so much you can do when you just limit yourself to one style like that. And I've found that a lot of the really good players tend to touch on other styles. And so if you come out of that a little bit and think about it more holistically, if you're a blues player, maybe think about country or think about bluegrass. And don't worry about how that's going to affect your blues playing. It's going to add to it. That's how you have to think about this. I used to worry that it would take away somehow. Like if I were, you know, a blues player and all of a sudden I switch and I'm trying to learn classical, you know, that somehow that's going to detract. I'm going to start losing some of my blues. It doesn't work like that. Anything extra you learn is just additive. So that's going to be my first suggestion to you, is to try a different style, different from the one that you're using or the one that you play the most now. Now, the second level is a little more difficult. It's to try a different technique. And by technique, I'm talking about the way that you approach the instrument. So if you use a pick when you play, put your pick down and play fingerstyle. Try playing fingerstyle if you've never done it, or vice versa. If you play fingerstyle, try using a pick or using a thumb pick. Or even better yet, try playing slide guitar. Totally different technique. You get a very different sound. And within each of these different techniques, you can play all of the different styles we talked about. So as a slide player, you can play country, you can play blues, you can play just about anything. You play jazz with it if you want. So that's the next level I would encourage you to think about, is taking the guitar and learning a whole new technique. And I'm playing slide right now, and I see that as I pick up the guitar with a slide, it's like I got this new thing. It's the same guitar, but you know, it's a whole new instrument all of a sudden. And so I get this new excitement, and it kind of re-energizes everything. So the third level, which is probably, well, is the most complex, is to learn a whole new instrument completely outside of guitar. And there's a lot of benefits to doing that. And you know, the first thing I would say is it's a lot easier if you stick with a fretted instrument. Since you already know guitar, at least you know how to fret notes and you know the left and right hand synchronization stuff. That would translate well to ukulele or banjo or mandolin, some of these fretted instruments. But think about picking up a new instrument this year. You wouldn't believe what that will do to your guitar playing. It will help. It'll make you a better player. And that was another thing that I thought. I thought that, you know, when I was in my 20s, about mid-20s, I learned to play banjo. I started learning to play banjo. Scruggs style banjo, you know, you got the finger picks and everything, bluegrass style. And I was worried when I first started doing it that somehow I would start to lose my guitar, like the guitar flame would start to die out and then it would be over here. But it didn't. And what happens is I would play banjo rolls now on the guitar. So everything you learn in a new instrument can be ported over. And actually, your brain just sort of subconsciously does that anyway. I'm playing a lot of mandolin now, and I see myself playing mandolin licks on the guitar, and vice versa. All right, so those are the 3 levels I'd encourage you to look into. Level 1, learn a new style. Pick something that you're not doing currently. Level 2, learn a new technique. Go for slide, go for fingerstyle. That stuff will add to what you currently know. And then level 3, pick up a new instrument altogether. It's like the joys of sitting down with something new when you are just learning it. It's like, you know, you remember how that felt when you start learning guitar and everything is exciting. You get that all over again. And when you have a new instrument like that, and you have all these different styles, you never are bored. I have all these different instruments I'm always playing. I play dobro, I play piano, I play bass, I play guitar, and I'm always working on something. And as soon as one of them gets old, I can move on to the other one. And at some point, that's going to happen. All right, so hopefully that's given you some motivation to try one of those three. And just remember, it adds to what you currently know. It does not detract from it. It will add to it and make you a better player. All right, we'll see you in the next one.